Let me talk to you about how to choose a registered agent. Obviously, we're speaking about LLCs. If you're an S corporation, if you're a C corporation, if you're an LLP, you also might need a registered agent. But in today's conversation, we're covering how to choose a registered agent for your LLC. Let me give you the overview of today's conversation. So choosing a registered agent can feel overwhelming. The thing here is that, if you are actually if you just form your LLC, you probably went through the whole process, and depending on your state, you might feel a little tired. Now you have to choose a registered agent because that's a requirement during the application process, during the filing process. You need to have a registered agent. The question is, what is a registered agent? Let's quickly go to the origins. Registered agent 101. So a registered agent is a person or a company, because it can be a person or a company, who agrees to accept any legal mail that arrives for your business entity. So when we talk about legal mail, that's called service of process. And so your registered agent also agrees to accept notices from the state, such as tax information, annual report reminders, and other compliance information that keeps your business in good standing with the state. You really need to have that, because otherwise, if you were asking the state to deliver to you a certificate of good standing, you will get a bad review. Because remember, if you apply for a loan or you want to enter some commercial agreements, some stakeholders might ask you to receive a certificate of good standing from the state. So if you're not in good standing, you can't get that. So if your registered agent is a person, that person is simply called a registered agent. And as long as this person meets the state requirements, like having an address in the state where the LLC operates, this person can be you, a friend, a family member. Or if you don't want to be your own registered agent, there are companies that offer this service. For example, some attorneys and accountants offer registered agent services as an add-on. And then there are commercial registered agents, which are companies that specialize in providing registered agent services. So selecting the best registered agent service for your business entity depends on your specific needs and how much you would like to pay, right? So I will basically explain to you in today's conversation your options to kind of help you decide the best option for you. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really wonderful to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. We are going to have an enriching conversation. Let me give you a winner here. So let's first talk about the attorneys and accountants. So if you were to choose a registered agent within the attorneys and accountants group, what are the pros and cons, and what kind of value should you be looking for? So some attorneys and accountants may offer registered agent services to their clients. This can be an option to explore if you are already paying for legal or accounting services. Let's say you have a CPA that's actually representing you right now, and they're doing your taxes, they're doing your accounting, your bookkeeping, everything. So it might be a great option. Let's quickly go through the pros and cons here. Pros first. This may be helpful if you work closely with your attorney or accountant and you would like to keep everything business related under one roof. In other words, you are trying to centralize everything. And some attorneys and accountants may even include this service for free. Having said that, this may not be an ideal option for everyone. So let me talk to you about the cons here. And you have a lot of them. First of all, attorneys and accountants tend to charge more for registered agent services than other options. Registered agent services also are not the primary focus for these professionals. And since registered agent services are not their main focus, the services themselves may be more old school to them. So instead of having a modern online dashboard and scanning your mail for you, your attorney or accountant may call you or send an email instead. Is that what you want? Think about it. And so relying on email or a phone call instead of a centralized dashboard containing your scanned documents could also result in delayed notifications, especially when you have litigation related information. Let's say you're a party to a lawsuit and a court ordered a sort of like documentation and you don't get it on time. This could be problematic. So think about that. When we talk about registered agent, we really pay attention to the element of time here. Timing is really critical. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to choose a registered agent service. Let's explore what commercial registered agents are actually offering. Is their service better or what? So a commercial registered agent is a company that specializes in receiving legal documents and state notices on behalf of businesses. And additionally, they actually maintain standard business hours, which is the state requirements for being a registered agent. And what we have seen in our research is that many commercial registered agents also offer additional services, like you can have something like LLC formation, you can have annual report filing, and mail forwarding. So think about it. This is actually, you have ancillary services that if you were to go with attorneys and accountants, that you may not necessarily have. And a commercial registered agent may also be called a professional registered agent service, a commercial statutory agent, a registered agent company, a registered agent provider. So you have all kinds of names. So when you hear all of those names, just understand that they are actually interchangeable. One thing I want to say here is that, whether you go with a commercial registered agent or with an attorney or accountant, you got to ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve here? Are you trying to save time? Are you trying to save money? Are you trying to save expertise? Are you trying to tap into existing expertise? What we have seen in our research is that it's just a lot better to go, if you want to outsource the whole thing at all, which you should anyway, because you do not want to be your own registered agent. I'll talk about that later on. You do not want to be your own registered agent. You want to outsource that task to a third party. And it's just a lot better to go with a commercial registered agent. And the good thing is that most of those companies, if not all of them, they actually already are part of the company filing process. So they will help you file your company, file paperwork. So they understand everything already. So when I talk about Zen Business, I talk about Northwest Registered Agent, I speak about LegalZoom, I speak about all those players. They are already part of the process. So they understand, they have the capabilities in place to take care of everything, which is why we actually recommend them. We're not recommending one particular one because they're all good anyway, but it's just a lot better to go with that than to try to ascribe this task to your attorney or your accountant. Now let me give you the approach here. So the question is, can you be your own registered agent? I want to say right off the bat, yes, you can be your own registered agent. As mentioned earlier, a registered agent can also be a person, not a problem. And that person can be you. It can be a friend. It can be a family member. As long as the person meets the state requirements, you're good. You are good to go. Not a problem at all. If you are selecting a person to be your registered agent, there are a few things to consider. A registered agent's job is to accept legal documents and state notices on behalf of your LLC. This means what? It means that he or she must be available at the registered agent address on your LLC's paperwork during normal business hours, meaning he or she needs to be there Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. to accept these documents. And the thing is that while state notices are mailed to the registered agent, legal documents are often hand-delivered by a process server. And this can be embarrassing if the process server, imagine, were to arrive to the address while you have customers or serve you, for example, in front of your neighbors. And if you are considering asking a friend or family member, it's important to let him or her know this could happen too. So it's all about preventing folks beforehand, right? Because see, when we talk about a registered agent, it's basically someone who is there for you in bad moments, quote unquote, bad moments, but also in good moments. And if that person is not there in bad moments or is there in bad moments where there are other people around, it has to be understood beforehand. Those things happen. If you are an LLC, if you're an LLP, if you're an S corporation, if you're a C corporation, you may be served court papers. It's part of the process. If you're in business, you could be sued or you can sue. Those things happen. And but the most important element, the most important thing you want to consider, if you do not, why we tell our customers not to actually be their own registered agent, is because of the privacy. See, I'm not even talking about the fact that you have to be there from 8 to 5. No, your privacy. You do not want your address to be published online. You don't want that. Protect your privacy. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about how to choose a registered agent service. Let me give you a few pro tips here, and I want to go back to the commercial registered agent thing. So the question is, should you use a commercial registered agent? We think yes. And there are a few reasons why you might prefer to hire a commercial registered agent. First of all, you use a PO box or virtual mailbox as your LLC's address. Nearly all state laws require all LLC registered agents to have a physical address in the state where they form their LLC. In this case, a commercial registered agent may be necessary if you don't have a physical address in the state where your LLC operates, or a friend or family member living in that state who will agree to be your registered agent. And the thing is that you need to understand, if you also run your business from home, your registered agent's address is public record. That's what I just said. It's public record with the Secretary of State. So if keeping your personal address private is important to you, and it should be, we recommend hiring a commercial registered agent. If you work in an industry that's heavily regulated and or where you are more likely to be sued, being served legal notices for a lawsuit in front of customers can be embarrassing. I just said that. And if you care about keeping your business matters private, you may want to hire a commercial registered agent. That way, any service of process will arrive for your LLC discreetly at the registered agent's address, away from the eyes of customers or clients. You also might want to choose a commercial registered agent if you would rather avoid the headache of sorting through loads of junk mail to find out if you have important documents. Lots of mail gets sent out to your company's registered agents because their address is on public record. Being on public record also means that address may be targeted by marketers, leading to large amounts of junk mail. So if you want to receive only the important documents without having to worry about filtering through the junk, a commercial registered agent can provide you access to the most important legal mail and notices through your online dashboard. And that's what you want anyway. If you're not physically available from Monday through Friday during regular business hours, you might want to think about having a registered agent too, because those agents must always be available during these hours in case service of process arrives, because those are the hours the courts operate. If you travel a lot for a business or vacations, a commercial registered agent is a good idea to keep you in compliance with state law. Now, let me give you the steps you need to follow through now if you are trying to, what should you look for really in a registered agent company? So when choosing your LLC's registered agent, you want someone who will always be available during normal business hours. The state requires this to make sure hand-delivered legal documents receive prompt attention. This is very quintessential because if you do not respond to legal notices in a timely manner or miss a court date entirely, the judge may rule in the other party's favor without you needing to be there. This is called a default judgment. This means you also want a registered agent who knows how to handle and deliver important documents to you quickly and easily. And most registered agent services will communicate with you by email, because if you're traveling somewhere, if you're somewhere in Bali or somewhere in Acapulco, it's just a lot better for you to communicate electronically. Basically, what will happen here is that the registered agent, they will scan and upload your documents into an online dashboard. You also want a registered agent who's an expert in your state's business compliance rules, and these rules are different in every state. Lastly, you also want a registered agent who has an office in any state where your business currently exists or plan to expand into. So if you have a business in multiple states or are looking to expand in other states, having a national registered agent service is a great option. So this is kind of cool. And so what we love here is that, you want to pay attention to a few things. You want to look at their pricing models, their customer service quality, because, the thing is, when we talk about customer quality, we're talking about the whole 9 yards. Even the phone, even chat service, even email. Look at everything. You want to look at their customer reviews on Trustpilot, Google, and SiteJabber. You want to really sort of evaluate the staff knowledge of state laws and business requirements in multiple states. You want to understand how they deliver important documents. You also want to pay attention to how aggressive their upsells are and many more. So that way you have a clear idea what you got yourself into and can decide whether or not it's a great service for you. Let me give you a bonus here. It's important to understand that when you actually choose registered agents for your LLC, the preeminent rule here is that they have to be available during normal business hours. And this is something that they have to do anyway. Now, sometimes what they do here is that they have offices, and those offices are staffed by third parties, or let's say independent contractors that will take care of your mail for you. But you want to pay attention to the dashboard, because see, the commercial registered agent must actually have a dashboard or some kind of system where they can upload your documents and really serve you those documents so that you can review the documents real fast and really find out whether it works for you or not. It's really important to make sure the dashboard is user friendly, because the last thing you want is that you want to have access to a dashboard that's not really functional. On top of that, you also want to have an app. You want the provider to have an app. That way, if you're traveling, if you are somewhere, like I said, Acapulco, somewhere in, let's say, in Nigeria, somewhere in Brazil, you can just check your cell phone and have access to your court-ordered documents. So you can really see real quick if the document is important or not. And you always have the option to ask the registered agent to shred or destroy or recycle the documents, because they're only sending you the scanned version of the documents, but they still have the physical documents. So you got to tell them what to do with that document. And so at the end of the day, it's really important to understand that the cost of a registered agent depends on your situation and also in the state where you're in. So how much registered agent costs depends on whether the agent will be you, the business owner, a friend or family member, or a company. So if you go with a company, you probably can expect to pay anywhere from $100 to $300 per year. That's per year. Okay. And in some cases, you can actually have a virtual office or a mailbox serve also as your registered agent address. This is totally possible. Even though there are some states that do not allow that, overall, you can actually have that if you have the right configuration. Okay. And bottom line here is that just make sure that you take care of those things beforehand before you even start entering into a contract, business contracts, or even apply for a business loan. Because if a lender wants to check whether you have let's say a certificate of good standing, or just want to check your registered agent address, you want all those things to pan out. You want all those types of information to be validated. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I just explained to you how to choose a registered agent service for your LLC. So I gave you the overview, the winner, the approach, the pro tips, the steps, and the bonus. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.